Hello, my name is Juvenal Lopez. In the following presentation for HST 325, Immigration and Ethnicity, I will be focusing on my research findings from a variety of primary sources. The immigrant groups I'll be focusing on in this video include Germans, Italians, Mexicans, and Cambodians. In order to highlight variations in immigrant experiences over time, this presentation will be in chronological order. As we learned in this class, the United States history of immigration is complex and often resulted in the poor treatment, marginalization, and criminalization of immigrant groups. With each new wave of immigration, fears of suitability of the new group persisted. My research suggests that in order to meet the challenges of immigrating to an often hostile environment, immigrants worked cooperatively to positively influence their own lives and those of future immigrants. German native Frederick Gerstacker came to the United States during the California Gold Rush. He chronicled his arrival into the United States throughout the port of San Francisco and additional travels throughout California, as well as Texas, Brazil, and Chile. His journal writings provide valuable insight into the social and political climate of the mid-1800s and the plight of immigrants. He frequently witnessed immigrants driven away from communities by, as Gerstacker calls them, brutal Yankees. He also saw how politicians made life difficult and expensive for immigrants. At one point, Gerstacker's journal mentions several immigrants found murdered near his digging camp. When they finally found the murderer, it was an American. Despite these circumstances, Gerstacker frequently mentions cases of immigrants of various backgrounds working together in the diggings and others setting up small businesses. The history of Italians helping each other resulted in the creation of organized groups like the American Committee on Italian Migration and the Sons of Italy. These organizations helped the community prosper and assisted new immigrants gain familiarity with the American cultural norms. Rocco Koreska immigrated from Naples to New York in the early 1900s. His story appeared in a book published in 1906. Rocco tells his story of having to save money to come to immigrate to New York with his friend Francesco and being held as a wage slave by an unprincipled Italian man. Despite these circumstances, Rocco believed that America offered him better opportunities than those in Italy. In Rocco's account, he worked with other Italian immigrants to learn English and ultimately opened his own shoe business with his friend Francesco. At the time of his interview, he was planning to invite his friends to immigrate from Italy so he could help them too. I grew up in Laredo, Texas. At the time, it was the largest land port in North America. I remember seeing a Mexican cross the Rio Grande River with their belongings in a trash bag, only to have a United States Border Patrol agent pick them up straight out of the water for deportation. In an editorial, which appears in a 1928 all-Spanish newspaper publication from Arizona, the author details the struggle of Mexican immigrants working in the United States. He claims that they often face prejudice and unfair working conditions. In order to improve their lives and that of their families, the immigrants started organizations like La Confederación de Uniones Obreras Mexicanas in 1928. Although the primary purpose was to improve work conditions for Mexican Americans, it also served as a means to help Mexican immigrants and their families function within the United States society despite significant racism. I live in Lowell, Massachusetts, which has the second largest community of Cambodians in the United States. The Cambodian people, for the most part, are political refugees of the Khmer Rouge. The Cambodian community use extensive support networks, which often include family members to help them adjust to the United States culture. They are currently thriving in communities like Long Beach, California, and Lowell, Massachusetts. Suching recounts her experiences in Cambodia, which resulted in her family's need to immigrate to the United States. The U.S. Embassy made immigrating very difficult, and it took many months to secure refugee status. Her brother, Ho, who was already in the U.S., served as a sponsor for the family and sent them money. Once in America, the entire family lived with Ho, so they could afford a place to live. Her aunt introduced Suching to the man she married in 1987, and her family lives with the couple and their children. As documented by these sources, immigrating to the United States is challenging. Immigrants typically face hostility and prejudice. Additionally, they rarely speak English and lack the understanding of American life and culture. Despite this, they choose to stay and create strong, ethnic-based communities that help their community prosper and provide support for new immigrants so they can become a part of American society.